folks, and welcome to Subjective Thoughts. And our manga for today is Death Note Black Edition Volume 1 by Tosagome Ohaba and Takeshi Obata. My apologies for butchering that. And published by Viz. Now, there is, death, blood, demons, and murder in this one. So if you are in any way squeamish, you have been warned. Also, spoilers. Alright, I'll put the translator and everything else here. And the story is by Mr. or Mrs. Ohaba, and the art is by Mr. or Mrs. Obata. Obviously, I don't know Japanese names. I know some, it could be a woman and a man, so, again, sorry for butchering it. Okay. So, I'm sure quite a lot of you know about Death Note. It's another one of those well-known manga stories, such the like as Akira, Full Metal Alchemist, One Piece, in that realm, I would presume. So yes, I quite a while ago picked this up, as I also wanted to read the story. I thought, hey, this might sound like something I would like. So at the time, my friend picked up this edition for me. I didn't realize it was gonna be this long, though. I think it's maybe like 3 mangas in one, though it doesn't say so on here, I think. I'm not sure. But yeah, it's like almost 400 pages. Which, again, could be a good thing. And in my case, it didn't end up being so. But yeah, this is also another one of my pile of I started reading a long time ago and then finally got back to. But I did start reading it this year. Okay, so let's get into the story then. Well, the story of Death Note Death Note is this. There is a Death Note. It is a notebook called Death Note that the demons, the Shinigamis, write in. They are sitting in hell, and when they go to Earth, they just write people's names in there, and those people die. And occasionally, a Shinigami will drop his or her notebook, and then the human will find it and pick it up. And then that human can use the Death Note. Right, with all my bitching about Light, I forgot to talk more about the Death Note. So there are rules to using the Death Note, it's not all doing. There are things that you can do. For instance, so how it works, you have to write the person's name, and within 40 seconds to 6 minutes, between those times, you have to write the cause of death. If you don't, then automatically the person dies of a heart attack. That's like the default option there. And also the way someone dies has to make sense to where they are and what the circumstances. Like if someone lives in one country, you can't say, they're gonna. For instance, if you live in Morocco, you can't write that a person from there is gonna shoot themselves in the head in front of the Empire State Building. That's impossible. But that kind of thing, and also like when Shinigamis write a name in the Death Note, however long that person had to live, the Shinigami is gonna have those years added to them. There's also things the Shinigamis themselves don't know about the Death Note, even. But yeah, there are all these rules about using it. And you can, again, like I said here, somewhat control the actions of the person you're going to kill. Like the FBI's agent versus his fiance. He wanted to have her commit suicide, but she gave him a false name. And when they first talked, and when they first met, she didn't give him her real name. And so when he wrote down and then wrote the fake name, it didn't work because you also time the death. When does the action begin, or when the time of death is going to be? So it didn't work because wrong name. If the name isn't correct, then the person's not going to die. I think there is some. There's also where, like, if you write down a person died in an accident, like in this accident that would involve other people, then that person would just die of a heart attack, so other people wouldn't be involved in as well. Because that's not how the Death Note works. Which is interesting, because you think maybe a Shinigami would prefer more lives. But yeah, it's a very interesting thing, the Death Note, how it works in all of it. And how you can, again, be so specific about how you want someone to die. And then in a way it's also terrifying, especially the way Light uses it and how he, again, just uses it on anyone. Also, another interesting rule, you can't kill someone who's under 780 days, I think it was. So, someone who's 2.5, maybe? Something like, or under 3 years old, because, yeah, I think so, maybe. Yeah, I think that's what that means. Like, if someone's that young, then you can't use the Death Note on them. So again, a lot of very interesting rules to how to use the Death Note itself. I found that very intriguing, because in between chapters, it would give you like a page from the how to use it. That's another thing. I wonder how much you can use it. Like, once it's full, is it can you no longer use it? Like, if L fills out all the pages fully. I don't know. Well, that's it. I just forgot to. So that's the story starts with a Shinigami Raikou. He's sitting Raikou. I'm probably gonna butcher these names too. Is sitting in hell and he's dreadfully bored. He's sitting with two other Shinigami buddies. I think they were playing poker or something. And suddenly he gets up and announces, "I've dropped my Death Note." And they're like, "You did what?" And then he just fucks off to Earth. And the one who picks up his Death Note is a teenage boy, about 17, called Light Miyagi. Or Yamagi, sorry. Yeah, I think Yamagi it is. This one here. And then, I will say this now, his reaction was completely not what I expected. Like, he's just, because he also sees Raikou as soon as he picks it up, who has a Death Note, is able to see the Shinigami. I think he's able to see Shinigamis in general. And of course, the one that the Death Note he possesses belong to. And again, the kid is just at first a bit hesitant, but then he just goes full psychopath mode. Like, it was...
What the fuck is happening?
I was flabbergasted. Like, the fuck? It is just... He's so calm about this, and he... Like, he experiments, and he starts trying to kill people. Well, try to kill people. He kills people by writing their names in the notebook. And again, I'm not expecting him, like, to, sit in a corner crying his eyes out, but he's just so calm about it. Like, I'm gonna create the utopia where I kill criminals. And I'm just, this is gonna go really fucking bad, isn't it? Now, okay, Light is the son of a detective. Like he's an inspector. He's like in a very high position in the NPA, National Police Organization, I think it was. And he actually helped his father and his team like solve 2 cases a while back. And so he starts using the notebook and he kills criminals. Now, to use the notebook, you must know a person's name, surname, and their face. You have to picture that face in mind, or else I think all the people with that name, like you can't use it. You have to have their face as well. And they like recognize it. So then, a lot of criminals just start dropping dead from heart attacks. All of a sudden, like, what's going on? And then the media's like, we have this killer called Kira, which is killer. And, and it keeps happening, and Elle just keeps going, and all that. And there's that one scene where he's with the potato chips, like, one hand I grab a potato chip, and with the other I write names. I think it was in this one. Again, I had a long break in between when I started to read and then when I finally sat down to finish. So yeah, that's how it goes. And then the police needs to do something. So they call in this special investigator or something. His name, well, he doesn't have a name. He just calls himself L. And he basically does this whole demonstration where it seems like it's him talking to Kira, giving his name, and Light kills him, but it's apparently not the real L, it's a death row inmate. So I guess agreed to do this because he's going to be offed off anyway. And so a battle of the minds begins, I suppose, where, Kira Light keeps killing more and more criminals, and Light, and Elle, has to work out to figure out who he is, to find him, and he gives out these statements, and so it continues, and it looks like Light becomes more and more psychotic, I would say, because he just ends up just starting to kill people that might even suspect him of being Kira. He ends up killing a lot of FBI agents that come into Japan. And he kills the fiancé of one that actually was also an FBI agent and started to suspect. That basically creates like all these incidents. Now, I should mention here, the Shinigami, or the Raikou, is completely impartial here. Like, he's not on Light's side or on L's side in this. He doesn't care. He's just there. He's gonna watch what Light does with the Death Note. There's also a deal where Shinigami's eyes, when they look at a person, they can see their name and also how long they have to live. And if you want the Shinigami's eye, you have to make a deal of giving half of your lifespan to them. Which is something Raikou offers him, but L's like, no, I'm going to create a utopia, so I want to live as long as possible. I'm going to be a god.
Oh dear, I seem to have spotted a cunt. Good day.
Holy shit. So it continues. Now, the task force gets smaller and smaller because obviously people are terrified. Kira can just kill you by knowing your name. Seeing your face. And it ends up that in the end there's only 5 people left on the task force that include Light's father. So confusing, the one's Light and the other one's L. That's what it ends up. They have to work in even more secrecy because they're not sure, who Kira is. And so this one ends, which again, I think these are like 3 in 1. With, they narrow it down to 2 families, Light's family and then another family of the detectives, and they have to install cameras and microphones. And Light figures it out because he has a system to make sure if someone goes into his room. And so it ends with him telling Raikou that he has to help him find the hidden cameras. And that's basically how it ends here. Okay. So first, not much to say about the cover. This is the black edition. But still, it's pretty nice. You got Light's face there. Let me show you some of it. So this is the colored art inside. You can see. Okay, that's really cool. I love Raikou's design. He looks fucking wicked. It's really cool. You see, I love how this, I don't know, skin or whatever is sewn in. So yeah, there he is with, like in hell. Then he decides to go. Okay, I'll just show you this one here. I also forgot to mention Light has, his dad, and then his mom, and he has a younger sister. There's his mom over there. Yeah, he's a straight-A student. He's going to college and planning to go to college and all that shit. And this right here is L. Well, his back anyway. But that's it. I don't want to show too much. But the art style is very good. There's a lot of distinctive faces and all that. And I think the designs of the characters are very, very good as well. Again, especially Raikou. Now, I will say this. I found the world interesting, the story interesting, but I fucking hate Light so much. It just annoys me. It's like those people sometimes that you meet and you just don't like. Just, I don't know, want to punch them in the face. That kind of thing. I just couldn't stand him, and I don't know why. I mean, I'm not usually this bothered by characters. Like, even villains, they read up about him, like, oh, see what happens. Oh my god. I mean, fucking hell, I didn't even dislike One Punch Man so much. I always forget how to pronounce his name, but it's just here. It was. I forgot to mention also there is a anime, of course, and there's that quite weird looking Netflix live action adaptation. Well, I mean, this is Netflix's reputation with manga adaptations at this point, from what I heard. Right. Anyway, back to this. I don't know, maybe it was the fact that we immediately just meet the killer. I think I would have enjoyed this a lot more if there were just glimpses of who Kira might be. You know, we see, like, Raikou drop the Death Note, you know, we see the hand pick it up, but then we only get glimpses, and in between there we get, like, just mainly Alan, the detectives. I don't know. I think it's just maybe also Light feels way too over powerful. Not the right term, but okay. So he's smart. He's the son of a detective and has access to his records. And he's so smart that even the fiance of the FBI agent, he happens to meet upon her, and then he manages to kill her. Or write her name in the Death Note to make her kill herself. You can actually affect the actions before death of your victims. And it's so easy. And I get it, it's probably the whole point here will be like the battle of the minds between him and L, but it just feels way too convenient. You know, he's all of these things. He has the access, he has this, he has that. And it just feels like, well, is anyone gonna find out that he's Kira? He wants to be the god of the world, and then what? I don't know. Again, I just didn't like him. I would have much rather read about L, or hell, even Raikou. I would have read a whole manga about him. He seems interesting. But yeah, I couldn't get through with the parts with the light. How psychotic he is. It just goes from 0 to 100. Like, kid has no hesitation. Okay, look. I get that he's killing, like, criminals to an extent that have done heinous things. But then when he kills that FBI agent, just for the off chance that someone suspects him, I mean, and again, he knows that someone's following him. Again, another skill he seems to have. And he also knows how to build things, because he builds this mechanism to hide the Death Note in his drawer in a way that if someone unlike him, that's not him, opens it, it explodes. I mean, come on! What else? Does he also know how to dance ballet? Can he perform Swan Lake? It's a bit much. I'm not saying an idiot should have found it, but, at least give him some challenges. But again, back to the killing. It's such a slippery slope, isn't it? Okay, so he starts by killing off all heinous criminals. Then what? It's gonna turn into Minority Report by Philip K. Dick, where there's a thought crime. If you think of killing someone or think of doing anything, you get swept up and arrested. Just for that. I mean, can you imagine living in this world constantly terrified? Because, again, he's gonna just... how long... Because, again, if he's just willing... He could have just acted completely, regularly. And would the FBI agent really have continued to suspect him? Probably not. But he just decides to kill him. So where is this, your utopia if you're just killing, a man that's there to, help people and catch dangerous criminals? You just kill him so he wouldn't find you when you could have just acted normally. Again, I'm also surprised that, because again, he helped his father with 2 cases. Wouldn't someone have thought of, maybe we should check out this kid? You think that would have aroused some interest in checking it out? I mean, no one would want to believe he's Kira, but still. And I don't know, again, it's how overpowered he is with all his skills and knowledge and access to his father's records. I mean, his father doesn't know that he has access to those, but again, he just accesses those, he sees names of criminals, and that's it. And it's just, it's too easy. Yeah, I think that was my main gripe with this. I just don't like light. Which is why I'm not gonna continue reading this beyond this one. I really struggled to just finish this one, but I wanted to. And I really enjoyed the parts with Elle and the team of detectives. But other than that, I was like, oh, I was so happy when I finished this. I was like, oh, finally. And yeah, again, I think my main one here is with Light, and if I'm gonna dislike and not want to read about him this much, I just don't see myself continuing through. Because it's just gonna be me, not wanting to read the parts with Light in. I mean, he's obviously a very integral character. So, as I finished reading this, I did go and, went to see what the end looks like, because I'm not going to continue. And let's just say I was very pleased. I obviously won't spoil anything. I already spoiled what's in here, but yeah, I won't spoil the ending for you. Well, that's it. Although I know there is another, not companion story, but another one. I don't know if it's related to... It has Death Notes in it, but... I wonder who those characters are. I just know they also exist. But yeah, that's it. That was Death Note. Again, I think the concept is very interesting. The art is very good. I just couldn't stand Light Yamagi. Fuck him. Yeah, I can't. But Raiku's awesome. That's about it. But I feel like stories with with demons and like these like the detective stories, I suppose. It might be a thriller detective story in a way as well. I think you might enjoy this and you should give this one a try. Maybe don't pick up the black edition though. Maybe get like the shorter first volume. I mean, I don't even know when the story came out, but I know there's like other editions of the manga. But yeah, I think I gotta stop buying these 3-in-1s. It might be a bit much. As I read this, I thought, because I also read Full Metal Alchemist recently, and like there, maybe you could say that Edward Elric might be a little bit, to some extent annoying. But I really liked him, and I like how he and Alphysson aren't these like super, unbeatable alchemists. There are times when, they do almost get really badly hurt or worse. I mean, they fight with what they can. They're not, like they know everything about everything. So yeah, that was it. But still, if you again, if you like detectives of thriller, give this one a try. I think you might like it. I just struggled here with our the protagonist. Alright, folks, so that is it. That's all I have to say on this one. Remember, collect what you're passionate about, share it on YouTube. Bye!